The All-Terrain Attack Pod, or ATAP, was known for being a sniper-like tank used by the GAR and manufactured by Quat Drive Yards and ran you about 90,000 credits. The ATAP's crew consisted of one pilot and two gunners armed with one heavy mass driver cannon, one dorsal medium laser cannon, and one ventral heavy repeating blaster. Used for long artillery strikes, recon, and light armor support, ATAPs mostly seen bulk of the combat on worlds like Seleucami, Felucia, and Kashyyyk. ATAP is later utilized by the rebels and Imperial forces. The all-terrain tactical enforcer, aka ATTE, was used by the GAR for the majority of battles against the separatist droid army. The crew of the ATTE consisted of one pilot, one co-pilot, used spotter, one vehicle commander, five gunners, and up to 20 passengers, armed with a 21 heavy laser cannon turret, one Firefront 04 mass driver cannon, and a complement of two all-terrain recon transports. The ATTE was manufactured by Rathana Heavy Engineering. The ATTE cargo capacity was 40 tons and could run you about 100,000 credits. The All-Terrain Recon Transport, or the ATRT, served as a recon walker for the GAR and was manufactured by Quat Drive Yards, armed with one chin-mounted MAAD 38 laser cannon or flamethrower, and can be retrofitted with a Z6 rotary blaster cannon and one mortar launcher. The ATRT was also used as police support and was introduced in 22 BBY and can run you from 8,000 to around 20,000 credits. The all-terrain open transport, or the ATOT, was an open transport with 8 legs, much like the ATTE 6 legs. Armed with two forward-facing medium laser cannons and two anti-personnel rear laser cannons, the ATOT seen most of its action at the end of the Clone Wars during the Battle of Fallujah. The self-propelled heavy artillery or turbo blaster, aka SPHA/SPHAT, was used during the Battle of Geonosis and manufactured by Rathana Heavy Engineering. The SPHATs usually had a crew of 30 and were the largest ground-based weapon in the Grand Army of the Republic. The OICT was manufactured by Quat Drive Yards and was a crane transport that only needed one pilot to operate it. Scuttlers are a prototype all-terrain vehicle that was manufactured by Commodore Vizsla Corda on planet Recon. Scuttlers had one pilot and one laser cannon. The Terrapin class Burke tanker, or TRRL-3, was manufactured on Corellia by Corellia Mining Corporation during the Clone Wars. The TRRL-3 was 350,000 credits. With the hyperdrive systems, the TRRL-3 was a hybrid transport and walker. The legs allowed the TRRL-3 to land on worlds with little to no docking stations. The Heavy Industrial Crane Transport, or HICT, were used as cargo lifters by many operators. The HICT was used around the galaxy like Trask, Ferrix, and Cantonaka. The Mobile Loading Gantry, or Scrap Walker, was used to scrap large objects on the world Ferrix by the New Republic Correctional Corps. The All-Terrain Defense Pod, or ATDP, was a mass-produced to the Empire before and during the Galactic Civil War by Quate Drive Yards in 18 BBY. The ATDP mainly served the Imperial cells on backwater planets and was armed with a MAAD-38 heavy laser cannon and costed about 50,000 credits. The AT-ATP, or the All-Terrain Armored Transport Prototype, was the original AT-AT model of the Galactic Empire adopted after the Clone Wars in 14 BBY, armed with 2 heavy laser turrets, 4 anti-personnel blasters, and 1 rear dorsal twin laser turret. Crew of 2 AT-AT Walker pilots and 1 possible commander, with a complement of 1 614 AVA speeder bike or a 474Z speeder bike. The Elite AT-AT was a darker and more armored variant of the AT-AT Walker. The Elite AT-AT was piloted by the best pilots the Galactic Empire had to offer. The legs of the Elite AT-AT were modified with built-in saws to stop cables from tripping them. The only known weapon to defeat the Elite AT-AT would be the ion explosives. The all-terrain armored cargo transport, or the AT-ACT, was larger in size than the common AT-AT and only had 1 operator pilot and 1 gunner or loader. Its cargo capacity could carry many thousands of metric tons from weapons to raw materials. The AT-ACT was manufactured by Quat Drive Yards and costed around 125,000 credits. Armed with 2 tame and back MS-2 heavy laser cannons and could carry up to 10 passengers. The All-Terrain Armored Cannon, or AT-AC, was used by the Galactic Empire for ground forces in urban settings, and was an early precursor for the All-Terrain Scout Walker, or the AT-ST. The AT-AC was manufactured by Quat Drive Yards and was armored with 2 dual-barreled blasters with a crew of just 1 pilot. The All-Terrain Anti-Aircraft Walker, or the ATAA, was manufactured by Rathana Heavy Engineering during the Republic's transition into the Galactic Empire. The ATAA was heavily armored with an armament of 1 turret-mounted twin-light flat cannon and 1 turret-mounted concussion missile launcher and a crew of 1 commander, 1 pilot, and 1 gunner, and 2 passengers. The ATAA would cost you around 135,000 credits. The All-Terrain Scout Transport Walker, or the ATST, was a lightweight, light-armored, 1 pilot, 1 gunner, 1 passenger, with a cargo capacity of 500 metric tons, was constructed by Quat Drive Yards. The ATST had external armor plates to protect the hull, with an armament of 2 Tamenback MS-4 twin blaster cannons, cheek-mounted Yov Gunsmith 88I twin light blaster cannons, cheek-mounted Dimec DW3 concussion grenade launchers, and a missile launcher. The ATST costed you around 75,000 credits. The All-Terrain Defense Turret, or the ATDT, was a long-range artillery walker utilized by the Galactic Empire and produced by Quat Drive Yards. Although light-armored, it was armed with a forward-mounted self-loading artillery cannon and a forward-mounted twin-light blaster cannon consisting of a single pilot and costed you around 44,000 credits. The All-Terrain Personal Transport, or ATPT, was a light infantry vehicle that was piloted by a single crew member and was armed with twin blaster cannons on the viewport, and was manufactured by Rathana Heavy Engineering. The All-Terrain Missile Platform, or the ATMP, was used by the Galactic Empire for ground support. The ATMP had a Mark III counterpart with darker armor. The ATMP was armed with 1 rotary laser cannon and various missile launchers. The ATMP were commonly deployed during campaigns like Tatooine and Lothal. The All-Terrain Force Recon Walker, or the ATFRC, was produced by Quat Drive Yards and was used by the GAR and Imperial forces. The ATFRC was armed with a dual auto blaster and a concussion grenade launcher with a sound dampening camo system as a countermeasure. The ATFRC was piloted by a gunner and a recon system operator and costed you about 75,000 credits. The iconic all-terrain armored transport, or AT-AT, was a four-legged combat transport walker that was manufactured by Kuwait Drive Yards. The AT-AT served mostly for the Galactic Empire and to almost every major frontline battle. The Urban Assault Triped Transport, or UATT, was utilized by the First Order in urban settings such as Kajimi in 35 ABY. The crew was comprised of a single pilot that armed with double laser cannons, heavy blaster cannon, two air-cooled repeater cannons, and a front limb that's used to grab enemies from buildings, aka a Cap-5 Captivator arm. The all-terrain Mega Caliber 6, or ATM-6, was a heavy artillery mobile walker utilized for the First Order against the Resistance forces. The ATM-6 was armed with two heavy fire-linked dual laser cannons, two anti-ship laser cannons, two sets of cable cutters, terrifying noises, and a Mega Caliber 6 turbo laser cannon on its back. The ATM-6 was constructed by Kuwait and Trala Drive Yards. The all-terrain heavy hauler, or the ATHH, was produced by Kuwait and Trala Drive Yards for the First Order. The ATHH was armed with four medium fire-length dual laser cannons, with a crew of two engineers, four gunners, two walker drivers, and a vehicle commander. The all-terrain heavy scout, or ATHS, was armed with a laser cannon and was used by the First Order military. The all-terrain mobile artillery, or ATMA, was used for base defense by the First Order at Starkiller Base. The all-terrain patrol droid, or ATPD, were manufactured in small numbers for the First Order. The ATPD was armed with two heavy laser cannons, and they dot important installations on Starkiller Space. The First Order AT-AT was produced by Kuwait and Trala Drive Yards and featured increased armor, two heavy laser cannons, one pilot, one gunner, a commander, and up to 40 passengers. The First Order AT-ST was produced by Kuwait and Trala Drive Yards and featured reinforced composited armor, concussion grenade launchers, light blaster cannons, and a twin blaster cannon, with a crew consisting of a gunner and a pilot.